the gist. Today's topic is, should women stay in an abusive relationship? All right, so let's say you have a gentleman. He's giving you everything, house, money, cars. The sex is great, finest restaurant, private jet, all of that. But he whoops that tail. So should a woman should anyone ever stay in an abusive relationship?
I don't think so. Not at all. Not at all.
I don't think so either.
And why? Why is that, ladies?
I just think that, there's a whole lot of factors that goes into a woman being abused. Number one, I don't know what possesses a man to actually abuse a woman, but, it could be that if it's an African man, it could be that he's trying to show his place and trying to show authority. I don't know what's going through their head, but then the woman is scarred for life, she doesn't have, she doesn't feel like she has self-worth, they don't feel like they could turn to anybody, and they keep going back to the same person.
It's embarrassing, yeah.
It is. It is embarrassing. You don't want to tell this to your family or your friends that, you actually stay for your boyfriend, your partner, your husband to continue hitting you and abusing you. And it can it definitely does scar a woman for life.
What's interesting is 1 in 3 women in the world would have been raped or abused throughout their lifetime. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that we say it's embarrassing, but a lot of women experience abusive relationships. Ethiopia, 70% of the women there are in abusive relationships. So this is something that is very common, even here in the United States. What is it, 324,000?
324,000, that's a lot. That's a lot of women every day being abused by the partner, and it's just...
And those are women that are pregnant.
Wow,
that's ridiculous.
During pregnancy. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, well, I can speak because one would say, well, what would make somebody stay in an abusive relationship? Especially when you see women, and I think there's a misconception that some abused women are like, poverty stricken and they don't have any other means of a way out. And that isn't always true. You have women that are in corporate America. I personally was in an abusive relationship, and it started off as love, and I'm in love. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but because I used to get spankings from my dad, I felt like, oh, well, this is part of love, because when your parents spanked you, I'm spanking you because I love you and I want the best in your life. So I was in this relationship thinking that, oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. So I think there are a lot of factors as to why women would stay in an abusive relationship.
Right. Well, when it comes to the factors why women will stay in an abusive relationship, there's a lot of factors. Some women, it's like religion, Christians. They don't want to accept divorce, okay? Both the husband and the wife go to the same church.
Right.
They don't want to put their, issues out there, like, oh, okay, this is what's happening in my relationship. They don't want to divorce. They don't want to separate their children, okay? They scared of support. I need to pay my child's school fees. I need, they just need them to be there for some reasons. But then one thing they should know is it's not going to help in any way. Because like you said, your dad used to spank you. Their kids will look at that and they grow up thinking it's okay.
It's okay.
The men like Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Right.
I learned Chris Brown, like his dad was abusive to the mom. So it's something like he grew up looking at.
Right.
So I think he didn't see any problem with hitting Rihanna. Okay, and recently on Oprah's show, Rihanna was like crying, talking about we should seek the help. Chris Brown should seek the help that he needs. Because it's something like he grew up looking at. So he don't see anything wrong with it.
But women should also seek help, because while Rihanna and women, we also have to be responsible, because somebody can only hit you if you're standing there. Yeah. If you're not there and you remove, I know it's easier said than done, but we as women, while Rihanna is over there talking about Chris Brown needs to seek help, you need to seek help because you still talking about you love Chris Brown. Right. And at the end of the day, he's putting his hands on you. I think at the end of the day, it boils down to low self-esteem. Right. And I can speak from experience. It's not, I'm not beating myself down or anything like that, but when you're in a place, you have to have low self-esteem to have, whether it's verbal abuse, economical abuse, psychological abuse, for you as an adult. If
Right.
you're a child, that's different. But as an adult, to stay in that, you have to question yourself. It's two parties, the abuser and then the
Abused.
yes.
I mean, regardless of what you think is the factors that will keep you in there or whatever, it is not good. You do not have to stay in there because it can lead to murder. I mean,
Absolutely.
I watched this on Oprah Winfrey's show. This lady, she was being abused. It started off being like emotional abuse, and then it got to physical abuse. And later parts, the guy had to burn the house down while she was sleeping. You should see her. Like, she came out with a surgery, but you should see the way she was looking. She could die. Anything could happen. So regardless of the things that you need, money, divorce, children, religious factors, it doesn't matter. You do not have to stay in there.
And I think like women need to realize that the more that they stay in this abusive relationship, it makes the man feel powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes them
Absolutely.
feel like they have your
control.
life in their hands, and they could, you know what I mean? Like when you feel like you have control of someone, you're just giving them so much power. So you're giving them power by having low self-esteem, and they can just take control of your life. You're basically a puppet. And
Oh, yes, you are.
Okay, I wouldn't necessarily say low self-esteem because God knows I love myself to death. And I was in an abusive relationship. And when I would look at him, I would think, oh, he's going to change. And it's because I loved him so much. And I was just like, I just had hope.
But
And
how do you love somebody
Somebody
more
that-
than you love yourself?
Exactly.
So that
And-
doesn't equate to low self-esteem.
No,
Not saying, and
I
at
don't
the end of the
believe
day,
it.
I don't. And at the end of the day, I think we all have moments of where we may question, our value, just depending on how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say low self-esteem, not that you look in the mirror and you feel like, oh, well,
Beautiful.
I'm ugly or anything like that, or I'm a bum or anything like that. But again, something's off. If at any point in time somebody disrespects you in any form or matter, and we accept that, like in our African culture, it seems like it's a cultural thing. So many women grow up, and maybe it's a matter of becoming empowered, because
Right.
when you look at the reasons, well, I don't want to get divorced because, well, who's going to take care of the bills? Who's going to help raise the
Yes.
kids? And if you're empowered, then you don't if you happen to find yourself, oh, you want to start hitting on me, like, okay, I'm not going to grow. And I think a lot of women, we make the mistake of saying, well, I need to hold things together for my children.
Right.
But then
Right.
then children end up learning that behavior.
Exactly.
I would really like to
Exactly.
hear your point of view on why you think you continue to stay in
Yeah,
that
okay.
relationship.
Well, the reason why I stayed because I was just like, I love him. There's nobody in the world for me. We're just gonna be together forever. And honestly, it not that it comes down to low self-esteem, but my relationship with my father, that really had an effect on it because I don't talk to my father like that.
Oh.
And I was just like, I just want a man who's gonna love me. And I looked at him and I saw that, I don't know why, but I thought that he loved me.
Do you think it also had to do with age, how young you were then? Maybe. I mean,
No.
obviously, one of the factors is that you didn't really have your father there, so you were probably having to look at him more than just a partner and more of a father figure. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't
Also,
say,
at the same time.
I wouldn't say age because you can get abused whatever age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just saying, in your situation, do you think that age had anything to do with it? Because now you seem, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm pretty sure, but do you think you would go through the same situation now that
Oh.
you did then?
Oh, no.
So experience must have something to do with it. Like the older
Well,
you get.
it was once again with my father. I was just like, Dad, like, I love you to death. I mean, we don't necessarily have to talk, but my life is going to go on. So I said to myself, why can't my life go on with this person and without this person? And I was just like, okay, look, I have to build in myself.
Bingo, and that boils down to self-esteem, and it doesn't mean
You
that
just
there's
don't.
anything wrong or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, as a woman, and at some point in time, my parents separated. I'm not a man, but I think fathers, instill in their daughters how a man is supposed to
Exactly.
treat them.
The
And
love
when you
that
don't
you're
get
supposed to
that,
have.
then that kind of makes things challenging,
Right.
and has women staying. Well,
And-
ladies and gentlemen, that is our topic for today: women in abusive relationships. If you have more to add to this, please check us out on www.infonollywood. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Let us know what you think about this. This could be something we continue. Please do stay tuned. We'll be right back for trending topics. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for Trending Topics. So today's trending topic is about Peace Square, very talented group, and their mom just recently passed. So it's being rumored that their mom's death is linked to the Illuminati.
I think that's absolutely absurd.
Ladies?
I think that it's true.
Well, I know a lot about the Illuminati. I don't know about them killing parents or taking away parents. I know about them exchanging something, for riches or popularity,
Sacrifice.
but I don't really think they're gonna kill your mom or your dad for sacrifice. I don't buy that.
Well, I don't know. Please, Anne, let me make my disclaimer. I don't know anything, but being as my parents are from Nigeria, things like occults
Right.
are
It's normal.
It's
very,
normal.
Yeah.
And just from watching a lot of the Nollywood movies, they give these background stories. When people are ready to sell their soul or for fame, and a lot of people, but the way that it's set up, some people don't even know that that's what's happening. They've just been given
Right.
a golden opportunity.
Right.
I mean,
It's like,
I'm just saying that you cannot sell your soul and not know that that's what's happening.
yes, you can.
You do know.
You do know
You
because
do
you
know.
go in there first requesting something, which I don't even believe in this. Let me put this out there. I do not even believe in this at all. But if you were to have a relationship or a contract with a devil, you go in there asking for something, and the devil's gonna tell you, I don't believe in this, but the devil is supposedly supposed to tell you that, okay, I'll take this in exchange for that. So you cannot tell me that
The
you go
devil's
into
a
something.
liar.
First of all, thank you. I was
The
about
devil
to say,
is-
last
the
time
devil
I
is a
checked,
liar.
when
That's it.
But for you to go in a relationship with the devil, you don't know.
wait a
that
minute.
it's
First of all,
it's gonna take something
wait,
away from
no,
you.
just like sometimes, as an example, just like sometimes people might, like we were just talking about abusive relationships. You have somebody that's come to you suave,
Sweet.
making it seem like your dreams. Oh, this is what you've dreamed of. In the meanwhile,
The
you're
devil
not.
does not come
Let
to
me
you
tell you
suave.
something.
And that's
Yes,
what
he
I hear.
does.
If you're looking
Girl,
for something that
okay.
if you're looking for something that is not out of hard work, you're telling me that so you know you're going to somewhere to ask for something.
can I
No,
tell
but
you
who said
something?
you're still not working
Can
hard?
I-
You still have to work. You still have to put in work.
I mean, I'm sorry, if you're going to cult, you're trying to get that fast money, quick money, you're trying to get that fast success.
Can I-
That's what you're trying to
can
get.
I tell you
and if you're going to
something?
get that fast success,
My
you're
mother-
giving something for something.
My mother supported my stepfather. I don't care. I'm gonna put this out here. My mother supported my stepfather and got him his PhD. Everything. He took $200,000 from her and left. And left. So she didn't know he would do that. She was just like, "This is my sweetheart. This is my baby. I'm doing everything for."
And this ties
and then
into
everything
being
was a
cunning.
lie. Everything was a lie. I said, "What? You have another?" What?
So in regards
I
to Peace
understand.
Square,
No one knew.
In regards to Peace Square and people's parents, from what I've read, because at the end of the day, I'm not a part of any occult, but from what I've observed. It's someone, and see, that's the price that you have to pay. That's why people have to be careful, and you have to know what it is you want, because sometimes you can be given an opportunity, and I think a lot of times, especially if you're coming from a desperate situation, and that's what you've always wanted, so you may not be thinking. You may be like, oh wow, this is a great opportunity,
Right.
and you're not necessarily sitting down signing a piece of paper that says contract with the devil. Like there was a movie with what was it with Chris Rock? Oh my God, was it Before? It was something
that movie.
right, and with the record label. All they know is they're young artists. They have a dream. Somebody's offering them an opportunity. Oh, you want to make music? Okay, we're going to help you. So in the meanwhile, they sign, but now you've locked yourself legally into a
Sonata,
contract.
I have something to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Talking about B4, they were starters, okay? Peace Square, they not starters. They've been around for a long time.
Okay, see now you're not. We're talking about signing a contract. Like how do you? Like she brought up the point.
I'm trying to get to something. Okay?
Okay.
I'm trying to get to something. Signing a contract, you wouldn't. Maybe you don't know. You just sign it, and then later on you find out. But with this particular situation, they do know because they popular. They've been out there for a minute. They're not new.
But
You
wait
know
a
what I'm
minute,
saying?
which kind popular, please?
Peace Square is popular.
No, they are popular. They're popular in
Peace Square
Africa.
is
Yeah.
rich.
In Africa.
I'm trying to
in
get there.
Africa.
I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
That I wouldn't say they didn't
It's
know
beyond
about.
Africa, actually.
It's beyond because now they Hollywood. They're not Nollywood. They Hollywood,
Right.
California.
And because they just signed over, and that's what. And at the end of the day,
I'm
see,
trying to
Sweeter,
tell
I-
you something.
they
I
know.
understand what you're trying to say. However, I do not believe it.
I don't.
They do
We're
know.
entitled to that. I think we're
Right,
all.
right. We're all entitled to what we
Yeah,
believe,
that's
what
my
we want to
Because
say.
we don't really know. at the
Right,
end
right.
of the
But
day.
I do not, for one second, doubt or believe that P Square is into any Illuminati and put their mom's life into this, because
don't
they've
think
been
so.
pretty successful up until this point, and I don't know how much. I mean, I guess there's a different level of success, but you know,
There is,
them
and
them
that's
taking their
the
mom's
reason
life for
why.
that. I do not believe it.
Right. I would say that.
I think they have
I-
the talent to
I
get them
don't,
to wherever
from
they
what
need
I've
to go.
observed, okay, like example, I don't think that people really know. And I think when they come to you, you have to make some kind of sacrifice. So you might agree and say, yeah, but you may not
So
necessarily.
are you trying to say that P Square, the
First and
boy brand
foremost-
signed the contract and
First
they
and
know,
foremost,
and they're
P
taking
Square.
and it's
I
taking their
wasn't.
mom's life?
I wasn't there. I don't really know. But for
Exactly,
Okay,
you don't
wait.
know.
So
I
I
believe
no,
it.
wait,
I'm
wait,
gonna stand
wait,
by it.
wait,
I'm sorry, I
As an
believe it.
example, there's a gentleman by the name of Mark Curry who wrote a book called Dancing with the Devil. So I was watching something on YouTube, and they were asking him. The gentleman was interviewing him, and he was asking him, "How do you sell your soul?" Because so many people talk about selling your soul,
Right.
And he gave the example again. It's not like you go into an office and the devil is like, ha 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 ha. I'm gonna give you this sign right here. It doesn't work like that.
How does it work?
He's
Suzanne?
I
like,
know.
you might have an artist. He has a talent, very talented. And again, now, like you said, P Square they were already established.
I
but
didn't
on
really-
that Michael Jackson level,
I
they
didn't
weren't
really
there.
land.
Hold on, wait
I didn't
a minute.
really land. I didn't
Okay,
get to
hold
that
on, but
point.
we're
Wait,
still
okay,
flying.
yeah. Let me hear
We are
this.
coming
I
to
wanna hear this. Go
So he
ahead.
said, how do people sell their soul? So the gentleman was explaining, you have an artist
Okay.
who has a talent. So they might meet with, I guess some executives, and they will talk about it like, okay, well, all right, fine, we're going to make a deal. We're going to give you $1 million. Might even show them $1 million in the suitcase. Somebody that has never seen $1 million in their life. Now psychologically, like, what? $1 million?
I'm not going back.
Okay, right. So now it's like, okay, cool, you're going to do this deal, but before we sign the contract, we want you to do a photo shoot. Okay, so you're like, okay, yeah, photo shoot, stunted,
Right.
looking smooth. Then as the photo shoot is coming along, articles of clothing are coming off. So next thing you know, you're naked. But in the meanwhile, you might be caught up in the hype, feeling sexy, like, oh, I'm a superstar, been working out, take my picture.
So that's how you
Wait.
sell your soul?
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm about to land. I know it's a long flight. I'm about to land.
It's a really long story.
I
about
know.
how you sell your soul.
Yeah, because I'm building it up. Because especially if you don't. At the end of the day, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just
Right.
giving
I wanna
background
hear
stories.
this.
So he was like, okay. The next, they might throw a guy in there and be like, take a picture with this naked guy. Let the guy put his hand on your lap, compromising positions. And at that time, you're like, naked pictures with a dude, $1 million. Naked picture with a dude, $1 million. Who's gonna ever see these pictures? Nobody's gonna see these. Because you're thinking about what can I do with that $1 million right now? Like I'm
Right.
coming from like this is it. So they're like, you could be at a restaurant now, fur coat, diamonds, everybody's just living it up. You're at the table with your girl. Next thing you know, they're calling you from the back of the restaurant. And you're in the back like, with my girl right now. Like, hit me up later. And they're like, no, come now. And they're like, no. And then finally he walks over there like, I'm not going anywhere with y'all. How dare you? I'm chilling with, my girl. Making pictures. Like, oh, remember these? Meanwhile, that could have been like 2-3 years ago you did that photo shoot. You've forgotten. And it's like, oh, well, you remember these pictures? Oh, okay, we'll put them out real fast and let everybody. In the meanwhile, you got the dude, you naked. The dude's head is on your lap. Oh, well, let everybody know how you came to be. And then it puts people in a tough situation like, wow, do I carry this burden and just go ahead and continue to do what they ask? Because now I've paid for my mom to
So
be
how does
out
that
of
bring
debt.
the devil into that?
That's what
someone
I
blackmailing
You don't even know
And
what
the devil doesn't blackmail you. Act
That's
like the
someone
devil comes out from
Can I say
the
something?
corners
Can I
with
say
his
something?
horns and
I mean,
says,
I'm
"The devil
expecting
out
this to be
here."
more
When it
like
comes to Illuminati,
magic,
I did
something.
research
See,
about
you've
it.
been watching too
I
many
did research about it.
movies.
Okay, Illuminati is not just something you just walk to somebody and say, I want to join it. You actually can apply
call, you're
online.
called, and
Let me tell you, you actually can go online and apply for it. They have their rules. I did research about it. I watched five hours videos on Illuminati. Okay? It's not something that somebody can. They have their website. You go there, you put your name. They need a picture of you, a current picture of you, what you want to be, and all that. And they tell you, do not. They write it there. Do not join us with anything in mind. It's like, okay, I want to be a star. I want to be
What
like
do you mean
Chris
with
Brown.
anything in mind?
That's what I'm explaining. You'll be like, in mind, I'll be, okay, I had Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're part of Illuminati, and that's why they're popular. I want to be like that, so I want to join Illuminati.
Okay.
It could be two-way thing, you know? Like, you've seen Jay-Z and Beyonce, you don't know what they consist of. You don't know what they are. You
sure
get what I'm
don't.
saying? So they give you that. But if you want to do it, then that's when you join it. Okay, so Illuminati is kind of like, it's called, but I think it's
What do
a
you
little
mean when
bit.
you say you don't know what they consist of?
What I'm trying to say, you don't know. It's a big package.
Listen, the Illuminati is a Western chapter of the occult
That's what I'm
magic
trying
that
to
has
say
been
with
going on in
Africa, with
Africa
Africa juju
for
and stuff like that.
generations.
With Africa juju and stuff like that. That one you might go to a room. They have this red gown. Okay, go today, drink this black. You taste it. I mean, it's a whole lot of crazy weird
Rituals.
stuff. But Illuminati is not like that.
I mean,
That's
you
where
know,
you're wrong.
They
you know,
do
see,
have rituals, honey.
That's where you're
They
wrong.
do have
Right,
You better
rituals.
go
right.
read up
So
on
let me tell you.
secret
Let me tell you.
societies.
I don't know what it's about. I don't.
I do know
See,
what
let me
it's
tell you. I have
about.
an
So then what do
idea.
you have to say, Cynthia,
Listen,
then,
but
to
I
Seth?
have an idea. You know, people. I have an idea because obviously there are talks here and there. You saying you can apply. Other things I've read said that you are called upon. You know, they actually call you because it's of a higher league.
They have
You know, you can't
application
just
online.
right. So you
Google.
said
Google
so.
that.
I mean, anybody could have made a website and called
This
it
is
Illuminati.
true. Thank
put
you.
it on there. You know, so I'm not gullible. I don't fall for things like that. But however, still, I'm gonna stand by my point. I really do not think that P Square
I don't think so
joined
either.
the Illuminati
I don't
to
think
take
so.
their mother's
I
life. That
believe
is
so.
absolutely
I don't think
absurd.
so.
And
When you
anyone
wanna
that
reach
believes
a
that
certain level,
should
you're
go
like,
They didn't
find
reach
a
it, but the
business,
topic wasn't
something
that
to
they
do.
joined.
That is absurd.
Wait, but the topic wasn't that they joined to take their mother's life.
Well, they're in some.
The topic was that as a result of them being in Illuminati,
That is still
did
absurd.
their mom lose her life?
That is
Something that you want to add and you want to weigh in, please check us out, www.infonollywood.com. Check us out on Twitter, InfoNollywood, and check us out on Facebook.